I'm
I have a
in
purple
your
top.
live.
A little. Okay, hold on. Let
Okay.
me go to my church,
I need
my
space.
my Bible.
Yeah.
Genesis 20.
Genesis
Genesis
chapter 14.
14.
Damn, I was ahead of you guys. Oh God.
Ooh, glory to God. Hilda said she was ahead of us. She said she was reading her Bible. Y'all are slack-a-lacking.
Nope. I was just saying that lots capacity,
Stay that way and I'm finished.
captivity and
Captivity and rescue, yeah?
ooh, I'm glad I'm on today. Let's get it on. Lots of captivity and rescues. That's what I need.
No, I'm not.
You
Okay.
all captured me, and now I'm on the rescue. Let's go. I'm ready.
All
Who's
right.
reading?
I'm a read.
What are
Yeah,
you
you're
going to read
through.
to? Oh, by the way, for those who are recording, welcome. We're reading Genesis chapter 14, heading Lot's captivity and rescue, following up on chapter 13. We thank you for watching this. God bless, and we're going to start. Sister Jolie, go ahead and read.
In the name
That
of
we're
the
recording.
Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
And it
Amen.
came to pass in the days of Araphel, king of Shinar, Ariel, king of Elasar, and Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that they made war with Bera, king of Sodom, Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, and Shemeber, king of Zobeim, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar. All these joined together in the valley of Siddim, that is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Cheddar. I'm gonna just call him Cheddar, okay? This is too
There we go.
long.
Cut it short. Cut it short.
12 years they served Cheddar, and in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Cheddar and the kings that were with him came and attacked Raphaim in Ashtaroth, Carniam in Zuzim, in Ham, the Emim in Shaveh, Kiriathaim, and Hararites in the mountain of the Seir, as far as El Paran, which is by the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to En Mishpat. This is Kadash, and attacked all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, who dwelt in Hazazon Tamar, and the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, and the king of Aram, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zoar, went out and joined together in the battle of the valley of Sadim against Cheddar, king of Elam, Tidal, king of nations, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of asphalt pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled. Some fell there, and the remainder fled to the mountains. Then they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their provisions, and went their way. They also took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Then one who had escaped came and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt by the terebinth tree of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner, and they were allies with Abram. Now when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed 318 trained servants who were born in his own house, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. He divided his forces against them by night, and he and his servants attacked them and pursued them as far as Hobah, which is north of Damascus. So he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his brother Lot and his goods, as well as the women and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him at the valley of Shaveh, that is the king's valley. After his return from defeat of Cheddar, the kings who were with him.
Okay.
A lot.
It's a lot, but I kind of
There's
broke
a lot of
verse 2.
kings there.
I kind of
There are
broke
9
down.
kings.
I
Yeah.
kind of broke down the very interesting parts that stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna share them on the notes where they're visual on my phone, so that way we could follow, which is kind of cool because they're on my. Oop, that's not my notes. Let me see. You guys can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. So the first thought that came to my head is, what is the biblical representation of 13, and why did they wait till the number 13? So the answer that I found that is the biblical number of 13 symbolizes rebellion, lawlessness, and apostasy. And I didn't know what that meant, so I just doubled down and looked what that meant. And also means abandonment, reunification of one's political belief or religious system. So then I doubled down from there. I said, for 13 years, all the kings were beguiled against the law for their wickedness and lawlessness. They went to war because they never agreed with each other. But then I'm like, there was a subpart. I'm like, okay, but what about the 14th? Because it talked about the 14th year. So the
Mm-hmm.
14th year, which means biblically represents double measure, spiritual perfection, or symbolize deliverance and salvation. So as I went down, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of names here. Right?
Yes.
Like I had to double down, and I made like a little chart of like each individual name, and I kind of got a really good like oversight, I guess you want to call it, because like Bira means like a gift. um I can't pronounce his name, means I will cast down. Eleazar means a chastener or overseer. Sodom is any very simple or corrupt vice or hidden place. Gomorrah means deep or copious, to be deep. Shanab means a sharpened desire. Father to change, a father to mutation, a father of transgression. Adon means ground or sort of. So I like found different names that really stuck out to me. And I just looked up the beings like for Hira and Bella, the hidden valley, the one who crosses over. And all that came together was to this. It says, whoever crosses over, I will cast down an overseer for you, swallowing destruction, lawlessness, and transgressions. And then from down, when they said that where they had together the sea of Shiva, means a clean level or to be even. So I literally saw like, okay, now I see where the 14 comes from, because the Lord was so over the lawlessness and the wickedness that was being overcome around Gotham and Mora, that at the 14th year, he delivered the land. He cleaned it out. He was like his lot got involved in the mix. So that really teaches you that lesson of who you hang around really matters. That's where like, and Paul says that good character is corrupted by bad company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly where it's quoted in the New Testament, but that really reminded me because Lot was in the wrong company. And what happens? We all from the hood. You in the wrong place in the wrong time, you're gonna get caught up.
Yep.
You don't know that. So that's what it really like. He got caught up. He wasn't where he's supposed to.
Supposed to be.
So he got roped along into it. And the only one who was around to, help him was Abram. So there was like a lot of key points that I had to double down. So like this was like the Lord just saw this and just like, yeah. Lot got caught up with the wrong people. Now there's wars. People are having turf wars and all this, and I just got the real bad case of the wrong place, wrong time, wrong character. Hmm. It really just shows on like morals, and you need to be careful where you plant your roots, because
Mm-hmm.
if you plant bad roots in bad places, you get bad circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be with God
I
to
have
see.
I have a question. who was Abram's brother?
Abram
Brother.
is
Where it says now Abram heard that his brother was taken captive. What was his brother's
So
name?
technically, it wasn't his brother; it was his
it's
brother's
really his
son.
nephew, but
It was
he
his
refers to
nephew.
him as a
And that's
brother.
brother. Okay.
hmm If you're
Yeah,
talking family tree wise, he's technically his
right.
nephew.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, I see it now. I see it. Born in his own house. Okay, gotcha.
hmm
I
yeah,
see it now. But
What
there's a
about
lot
you,
of
Johnny?
kings. A lot of kings in this one.
hmm
yeah.
18 trains and 18 servant.
Right.
And this is basically the beginning of when he says spread out, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
So this was my understanding of this story, right? Because
Hmm.
when I got into this story, I was just like, wait, hold up. In chapter
I was the same way.
13, we just left off at Abram separating from Lot. Lot chose
Exactly.
to go his
Hmm.
own way, and Abram stayed where God wanted him, right?
Exactly.
I
Now,
remember
and then
that.
all of a sudden, all these people that we have no idea who they are
Yeah.
started coming out of nowhere. So I was just like, wait, hold up, Lord. I need help. Who are these
Yeah.
people?
Hmm.
So let's call, all right, so there are 9 kings altogether, right? In the beginning, they speak of Cheddar and his people. So we're going to just call those guys, Cheddar and his guys, we're going to call those people the 4 kings. They are the
Okay.
4 kings of the east, right? And
Okay.
then you have the 5 kings, the ones who rebelled, right? So they are the 5 kings of the west.
Okay.
So if you look for at their descendants, the 5 kings are all descendants of Ham. And if you all remember who Ham is the one who pretty much, how you say it,
Was cursed.
was cursed by Noah, his own father, right?
That was in another
Yeah.
chapter, right? Wasn't
Hmm.
that?
Mhm.
Okay. I remember
So
him.
the reason being that the 5 kings, what the heck is this? Oh, something popped up on my phone. All right.
I'm not
So
okay.
the 5 kings rebelled against Cheddar and his people because for a certain amount of time, those, let's say Cheddar and the 4 other kings, they were higher up. The 5 kings, they were right below Cheddar and his
Mhm.
group, right? So these 5 kings were in charge of these cities, but they had to pay taxes to Cheddar and those 4 other people. Now, in their 13th year, they chose to stop paying taxes because they was just like, we're going to stop doing this. We're going to be independent. We're going to be our own city. You're not in charge of us anymore. And they
Mm.
So
decided
they, in a
to
sense,
go
I'm
their
gonna just
own way.
re-say that in a different way just to see if I caught it right. They decided. So basically, they were. I don't want to put it this way. Like how the United States is under Puerto Rico, where it was like territory, but now they want to become their own sovereign nation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, got you.
All
Copy.
right. So that was the reason the war began because Cheddar was just like, you can't just rebel and expect that you won't get consequences for what you did.
Consequences.
And
Exactly.
so this is what's crazy is that this is what the 4 kings from the east, Cheddar and them, this is what they decide to do to prove their point. So in the 14th year, it shows that Cheddar and his guys decide to attack the Raphaim, right? The Zuzim and the Emim. All those 3 are tribes. But if you go into more detail, they describe that those 3 tribes are all from the giant family.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And they were all part of it, part of the east as well.
I was
So
gonna ask you that what part
yep.
they were from.
The
So
Okay.
Giants, like as in Enoch, Giants, the time of Enoch before we don't know much about him because his
oh,
book is not there, but like
oh,
Giants, like
giants, meaning the time of like when when God drowned everyone with the flood, because
Hmm.
there were giants there. Yeah, that it still ran genetically through Noah and his descendants. So there were more giants that were born later on. And so they defeated all of
So
those
Noah
giants
had
by the
giants in the boat.
No, no.
It
It's
was
just
carried
like
in the
it was
bloodline. It
already
was
in
still
the
the genes
blood.
were still
It was
that
in
the
Noah's
genes were still
genes.
there.
Okay.
So that's
Just
why.
like picture this, just like someone like let's say you have brown eyes, but let's say your grandmother had green eyes. You may not have brown eyes. Your kids might have, but let's say your third child had green eyes. Well, we know that green eyed child came from your grandmother.
Yeah.
It's a recessive gene inside your body. It doesn't. It will always be there, but it only shows itself when it's deemed presentable. Science.
Wow.
Right? So you have the Zuzim, the Emim, they're part of the East. And Cheddar and his group attacked them, taking over the East, proving a point that okay, we have one territory of the globe, right? And then the Raphaim are part of the North, and they took over the North. And so, fun fact before I continue, the Raphaim tribe is also found later on in the Bible in the book of Deuteronomy. And Moses notes that the tribe of the Raphaim was part of King Org's tribe. And Moses noted that when he met King Org, he was 13 and a half feet tall. Do you know
Mm-hmm.
how tall?
An
Like I
average
was
man at best. That's crazy.
I
An
think
average man
I
at
think
best.
that's
Pastor showed that
two 6 feet
Sunday, was
men.
it him?
Yeah, this is the average, the tallest man. What? How tall is Shaq? He's like the tallest man right now, currently.
No,
He
the
showed it
tallest
with the
man is
shortest
just
guy.
some Asian dude, and he's just like
Mm-hmm.
7 feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like 7, 8 feet and some change. And you said he was 13 feet.
He was 13 and a half feet tall.
So that's almost taller than the tallest man in the world right
That's
now,
two
and a little bit
shacks
and
on
then
top of
some.
each other.
Uh-huh.
Pretty
Wow.
Two
much.
shots.
That's two shacks on top of each other. That's very tall. So anyway, I thought
I'm
it was
sorry,
just
I
a
would
fun
break my
fact.
neck. Huh?
That's
You
what
mean what?
I thought it was
What you
just a fun
said?
fact. So anyways,
Mhm.
right? So if you go on, and the 14th year it also breaks down that that they attacked the Horites. Um
That's
Pretty much
crazy.
they weren't part of the
Couldn't
giant
think of
family.
nothing
They were
inside.
just identified as cave dwellers, people who lived and slumbered in caves and had community in the crevices of all caves, right? But they were part of the South. So now you have the whole setup. You got Cheddar and his group. They took over the East, they took over the North, and they took over the South. And now where are they headed? They headed to the five kings who are on the West, right? So they go over this to them, and they show the five kings that they took over all the trading routes and all the cities of the East, North, and South. And after defeating them, they in the story after they defeated the all those areas, they headed back
Mhm.
and attacked the Amalekites and the Amorites. And
So
by
they grouped
doing
together and attacked those two people, correct? I'm
what?
repeating. I have to repeat back what you're saying because I want to make sure I understand.
Mhm.
All those groups attacked.
The four kings of the East,
Mm-hmm.
after they attacked the North, South, and East, they went back to like where they started,
Hmm.
which is the East.
Okay, so
And
basically they went back home to their homeland and then went
then they,
over to another two groups. Is
yes,
that what you're trying
to
to say?
another two tribes and
Okay.
attacked which is the Amalekites and the Amorites.
Okay, so they controlled the homeland. They went back to the homeland and went to control another two group of people.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay.
And the
Following.
reason they went back and attacked those two groups is because they wanted to secure every corner. By doing that, they secured every corner of land in the globe
Mm.
to make sure, oh, you can't trade with anyone because we run all of it.
Mm.
I'm sorry, that's the definition of petty.
So
You don't wanna pay your taxes? Well, I own all of it.
and
So good
now
luck.
once they did that, they was just like, all right, now it's time to overtake the West, to overtake the five kings. And so once they once they all joined together, they did that. They did such thing. They all joined together. They all headed to the West. And the moment they went to the West, the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah saw and heard what they did and how much they overtook that they fled. They got
Mm-hmm.
No.
scared.
They dipped.
They ran. And what you call it? And then they were saying how in the chapter it was discussing how there were like tar pits in the area where the battle was going to start with the West. And
Yeah.
some of the what you call it? The Sodom and Gomorrah's people and the other five kings that were with them, some of them fell in there, and that's how they got
Right.
caught.
Right here. It says, now that the
Mhm.
Valley Sodom was full of asphalt pits, the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled. Some fell in there, and the remainder fell into the mountains. They
Mhm.
took
Well,
all of
what
the
you mean
goods of Sodom and
spelling though?
Gomorrah.
Spelling what?
They fell in the asphalt. Remember what we said asphalt is? It's like glue that seeps
Mm-hmm.
from the ground. It was like a
So like
natural glue
sticky quicksand.
Yeah.
kind
Like
of
it gets yourself stuck like to your calves. You can't really move.
yeah.
That's quicksand, yep.
hmm So that's what we read so far, and that's what happened. However, in the midst of all of this, so Sodom and Gomorrah decided to flee and they escaped, right? But they was just like, we ain't gonna leave by ourselves. That's why what she said, Lot was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. They decided to start grabbing everything they could and grabbing hostages and grabbing all the people they could and then
Mhm.
fleed.
That's why I said he.
He was just
Mm.
at the wrong. This is why in chapter 13, the Lord told Abram, don't take no one with you. And look what
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
nephew got snatched up.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
got snatched up.
So then, right after Lot gets taken by the four kings, because they're the ones who took over everything. Um,
I just
to
feel so bad.
I
I just
know,
want to take
but
a moment for a
some of
lot.
them
Like, can you
voted.
imagine you're just chilling?
It
My
was
gosh,
two
can
of
you
the
just
people.
imagine?
Two of the people that were part of that of the West. It was two random people of significance, obviously, but they were allies of Abram. They knew of Abram and they knew where he was, and so
They went to go find them.
they went to go find him. They escaped the war and they found Abram. They was just like, yo, they stole your nephew. They
Mm-hmm.
kidnapped him and they kidnapped all his sheep, all his riches. They took it. And then he was just like, "Oh, word." I'm paraphrasing. This is not actually what they said, but but I
But
want
this
to
is
say
what
it
it
in a
really feels
way.
like to us.
I want to
This is
say
what
it
it
in
feels
a
like
way
to
so
us.
you
Like, oh,
understand what's
word, that's
going
what
on in the
happened.
story.
hmm
Right? So they told Abram, they're like, "Yo, they kidnapped your nephew. They stole all his goods, all his riches that
Yeah.
he had. They took it all." Abram's just like, "They're gonna mess with my family. That's my brother's son. That's my blood. We out there, all right? Grab your crap. Grab it all. We're going."
It really
And
was.
so
It
which
really
we
was.
call
But
it.
I just
Wow.
gotta.
But they were smart about it. And because Abram was under the blessing of God, they were sneaky and they attacked the four kings that took over everything. Abram attacked them at night and he conquered all of them. So pretty much the four kings that took over the east, north, west, and everything all became Abram's that very same night
Mm.
because it was
That's
under
the
God's
definition that he will
promise.
bless those who bless. He will bless them.
It was as
Yeah.
though the four kings did everything for Abram because out of pettiness, right? They did everything for Abram because at the end of it all, God promised Abram, all this land is yours. And I promise you this. And because he was able to conquer the four
Those
kings
who
that
curse
night,
him, he
everything
will
became his.
curse.
I
And
just
everybody
really,
that curse
I'll be
him,
honest.
he will curse.
I just really feel bad. My homeboy, like, can you just imagine? My homeboy, you just strolling a good stroll with your sheeps, and all of a sudden you got snatched up.
He
That's
ain't know what happened.
crazy.
He's like, wait, 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 wait. Oh no.
Mhm.
And
Let's go
that
see.
pretty
Let's
much
go
sums
see.
up what happened. You know, that sums
Yeah.
up what happened
But
in
thank
the
the
parts that I
Lord that
read.
someone, but here's the thing. But here it goes. God kept his promise because I will bless those who bless you. So two
Hmm.
people was able to go tell his uncle that, like, yo, homeboy got snatched up. Like, we gotta go help.
There you go. Somebody was there at the right time to go say something.
Right.
He was there at the wrong time, but somebody
It was
saw
there at the right
and
time
was
to tell
able
him
to,
to redeem the
yeah, to inform.
story.
Hmm.
Yep.
Sometimes people are in the right place at the right time, and some people are in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where it really hit for me because the part of my notes where it said, um, who will cross over, I will cast down an overseer, for you will swallow destruction, lawlessness, and transgressions. There was a lot of bitterness. There was a lot of shadiness that was probably going on. There was a part of a lot of backslided comments or side deals, and God saw it all.
Hmm. Look,
So
man, he's listening.
he set it up. He really stepped. And you know who was the overseer of it all? The Lord. So then he could pass
Hmm.
it to who? Abram.
Abram.
Mhm.
Abram. So that's when I put all those together. And then where it happened was the valley of Shiva, which is to me cleaner level. He leveled the playing field. He leveled it out.
So he brought back all the goods.
He leveled it out.
All right.
This is interesting.
Let's continue this crazy story that's going on.
But I'm just so I just
You,
felt my brain is so
so that
stuck. Like,
so that
Abram, if you would have left your nephew home, you would have saved your nephew from being
saved that headache.
traumatized.
But to be fair, I think it was a necessary, like, even though Abram disobeyed God and brought along his nephew and everything, it still worked out for him and it still worked out God's promise to him, because he was just like, oh, I had all those four king Cheddar and his peoples. They took over all that land. They did you a favor because now you don't got to do it. You just got to take them out. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
So
So that,
now we're
so, so that was
chapter.
my sum up, because there was a lot going on and I was just like, wait, who are all these people? And I need to sum up how this story is working
Yep.
out.
So
And
with
that's how
your
the story worked
breakdown and
out.
my part together, it really just brought it all home.
Yeah.
All right, now we move on to the
I was
second
lost
part.
for a second. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I know.
You
But
know me
I
when
had
it
to break
comes
it down by
when it
name to
comes to
come up with
man
something.
names, I'm just like too much is going on.
All right. So on 18.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay. Abram and Melissa.
Melchizedek.
What?
Melchizedek.
Mm.
Malachi.
You could just say Mel.
Mel. Okay. I couldn't again. Then Mel, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was the priest of God Most High, and he blessed him and said, blessed be Abram of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who was delivered your enemies into your hand. And he gave him a tithe of all. Oh my gosh, is this the first recorded tithe in the Bible?
I think so. I haven't seen that word
Well,
until now.
Well, I wouldn't know. I know that Abel did, and like whatever, but like a tithe to like I don't know,
I saw offering.
like
I didn't see
offering,
wouldn't
but not a
offering be
tithe.
considered kind of like a no?
no, it's
No,
too different.
offering is what you give from your heart. Tithe is when you give
Yes.
a tenth of what you have, what you steward. So this is, I believe, the first tithe. He gave a tithe to it all. But we'll think about it. Go back. All right. Now the king of Sodom and said to Abram, give me the persons and take the goods for yourself. Not him trying to take credit. Hold on. Shut up, read. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have raised my hand to the Lord, God Most High, the possessor of heaven and earth. I will take nothing from the thread to a sandal strap. I will not take anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abram rich. 24. Except only the young men have eaten, and the portion of men who went with me, Ander, Eshel, and Mamar, let them take their portion. And that's how it concludes. So that part kind of lost me, but now reading it out loud again, I took it as like they recognized Abram of who he is, like not, I don't want to say the power that he wields, but like the strong backing he has with him. I think that's the proper way of saying it. Like the backing he has with him. Like it's not a small feat that you came in the middle of the night and just overtook all this. Like they're like, who is this? Who is this high roller that just rolled in? So he was in awe and he saw who he was. And I guess when he said he gave a tithe, I guess for that part to me is like he wanted to be a part. And I don't want to say a part of the story, but like it makes me think of the time in the Bible when um Silas and Timothy, was it Silas or Timothy or Silas or Paul? It was Silas and someone, they went into the jail. They were flux because they got in trouble. So that means they got hit and thrown in jail. And they celebrated because they were persecuted like Jesus was. But they were unhappy while they were in jail.